Howdy, howdy. We are here with Silhouette Mirage, one of the...
I'm Kariohki. I've been running this game since 2006. It was my first speed game that I ever picked up, though I did pick up the US version on PS1 first before playing this one. And arguably this one's the better version. It's honestly a toss-up for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only version I played, but like everything you hear about the US version is just like, I'll stick with this version. Because Working Designs have made a lot of changes that really mess with the balance of the game. And I just feel the original version just has a really nice balance where all the weapons feel really good to use and everything. But let me know when you're ready and you can count us down.
Yeah, let me just get into the game first. So for chat explanation, we do skip through the tutorial. That's not timed. Because I've been running this game for so long, we use SDA timing, so it's by character control. And also because we didn't want people resetting on the tutorial over and over again.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Also, turbo is allowed. Turbo controller to save risks, because there's a lot of mashing in this game.
Oh yeah.
And, okay, I'm on the first text box. Are you on the first text box?
Yep.
Alright, I will count in for timer and everything to start. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, good luck. So we have, we're going to start out with grinding money in this game because we want to get really powerful. So we're going to just bully these little polykeepers here.
Excuse me, they are called Cupids in this version.
Oh, I can't remember that. I knew it was like Cupid or Angel, but I couldn't remember.
We are playing the Japanese version, therefore we should use Japanese terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Working Designs changed the names of a lot of the characters and all the weapons in the game to avoid religious references. Because this came out in the 90s, and that was the thing to do back then.
Yeah, all the weapons are named after the 7 deadly sins. I believe the default weapon is Sloth.
Yes, Sloth, Sarosa in the English version.
Yeah. And we want 900 money so we can buy the secret shop weapon, which we'll talk about when we get to that point. In the US version, they lowered the cost to 300, so you don't have to grind.
Yeah, in the Japanese version specifically, all weapons by level cost the same amount, so all level 1 weapons cost 100, all level 6 weapons cost 900. In the US version, it depends on which weapon it is that determines the cost. So because they think Sarosa is the weakest... Stop grabbing me, please. They think Sarosa is the weakest weapon. They made that one cost the least amount of money. It only cost 300. And they made the giant dragon laser cost the most money because they thought that was the most powerful. Actually, that weapon is the worst weapon in the game in the US version because of a change that Working Designs made, where it takes your mana bar to shoot weapons. If you notice at the top left, there's an HP bar and a mana bar. In this version, your mana only decreases when you get hit by a same element attack. So if you're facing red, if you get hit by red, you drop your mana. In the US version, if you shoot your weapon, it drains your mana at a rate depending on which weapon it is. Yeah, so there's two different element sides in this game. If you've played Ikaruga, you kind of know where that comes from because that kind of came from this game actually.
Yeah, they took that idea from this game and reapplied it in Ikaruga, which works fantastic there as well. And so, like, if you're facing the right, you do red damage and you take damage from blue. And if you're facing the left, of course, it's the opposite. You can swap it by spending 100 spirit, but it's generally a bad idea to do that because the game is balanced around your default positions. Ooh, nice. First round of farming was good. So we can jump down here to respawn the enemies up above to just bully them for more money. I'm getting grabbed a lot.
I lost track of how many I was hitting, so just decided to defeat them all and go back.
Okay, nice. So there's a secret shop. If you jump up here, you have a triple jump in this game. If you jump up here, there's a shop here, and there's a secret shop. Is there one for every weapon, or just most of them?
There's one for every weapon, I do believe. Can I tell you where they all are? No. Because hear about this one. I know where the next one is. I can point them out as we like pass by them. If I remember it.
Yeah, I only know where that one is. But, so now we have the level 6 version of this weapon, which is just going to carry us throughout the game. But you can lose a weapon. You can carry up to 3 weapons, and you can lose them if you if you lose all your spirit and get that drain to 0, you'll lose whatever weapon you've equipped. So if you happen to be low on spirit and you're about to die, it's a good idea to change to a weaker weapon. That way you lose that one instead.
Level 6 Cerosa get.
Nice.
So that that crouch dash there is the fastest form of movement, I believe, as long as you're moving 2 screens or more. Something like that. Otherwise, just your normal dash will work fine because the balance doesn't really go out there.
Yeah.
Alright, first boss.
Oh yeah, that first boss, he just melts when you have a level 6 weapon. He's just practically a nothing boss.
The level 1 Cerosa you start with will level up throughout the game, so you don't really need to buy a weapon if you don't want to grind the money out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But that level one weapon will evolve as long as it's your active weapon. It will grow through the entire game, so it'll be level 6 by the end of the game. And then also we face our first walker there, which is a neutral type boss. Neutral type bosses are only damageable by reflected attacks.
And the walker boss is special in that if you knock it off a ledge, it takes 30 damage.
Yeah, half his health half his health specifically.
Yeah.
In the US version, it defaults to a harder difficulty, so all the walker bosses have more HP. Moses did not do spring this time. Okay.
No. Yeah, so Moses is like, he'll basically teleport you around from area to area to help you out.
He beat him and he becomes your friend, because you bring him to your side of your cause.
Yeah, in the US version they renamed him to Bug, I think?
Yeah, Bug. It's like a computer bug or something.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think about it, because this game is very technological with a lot of like math and numbers and stuff appearing, so I kind of figure like, oh, like computer bug.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just thought that was a strange name. But yeah, you're right. That makes total sense.
So crouch dashes also do damage to enemies. When you're crouch dashing through this area, you can see the enemies getting hit by rank down because we're hitting them with the same color. And a cool little thing there where there's too many of them, so the bridge breaks. That's how you move on. Alright, the Koopas on motorcycles, you can actually knock them off their motorcycles. And also the flying ones, you can knock their wings off if you do spirit damage to them, because they rank down, so they're not as good enemies anymore. Please get up, thank you. For new players, it's really recommended to, like, drain bosses of their spirit, because it just makes them a lot easier to take care of.
Yeah, because all bosses and enemies have spirit as well, and if you drain them, they do less attacks. Like the Cupids and the Devils, the little pumpkin guys. In early in the game, they don't do any damage when you drain their spirit, except for like the pumpkins can breathe on you. But later in the game, they'll have more attacks as well.
Alright, got dash glitch. Nice. It's not really a glitch, it's just that if your positioning is correct when you're dashing over the line to start the cutscene, you will dash into the cutscene instead of walking into it.
Yeah. And it saves a small amount of time. I forgot about that, actually. And stage 2 is probably like my favorite stage visually, and just has really nice music as well. Even like the bosses have really nice music.
That Zohar did not go as well as I wanted to, because she
mine went pretty okay.
Yeah, she teleported off of the corner. I tried to stun. You can what do you call it?
Stunlock.
Stunlock. Yeah, you can stunlock that boss by just slamming it into the corner over and over again. That was also our first dual element boss, or dual attribute boss, same as us. They can change depending on what they do there, so we just want them to stay on the one side so it just doesn't take as long. Don't need to change where we're moving. Their Mirage, which is the red-pink form, is a long-range attacker, and their Silhouette form is a short-range attacker. We'll be seeing a lot more of Zohar, don't worry.
Oh yeah. And then we got a big muscle guy, I forget his name, honestly, because he's
Goliath.
like... Goliath, that's right.
My walker did not want to shoot at me, so...
Mine never shoots at me. I just lure it to the edge and then push it off.
That walker is really dumb in the English version, where it will actually walk. It can actually walk really close to the edge. This one will stop like a step before.
Yeah. Now we're fighting a giant gun. Another neutral boss. Where you have to get it to load bullets, but you want it to only load Mirage bullets.
Alright, Goliath didn't jump back on the truck. He can jump back on the truck, start throwing enemies at you, which can be annoying because they're both attributes. Also, if you notice the backgrounds in this stage, you can see the reflections of the buildings, on the opposite side and everything. That's a Saturn-only thing. On the PS1 port, both versions, there's some background layers removed just because the PS1's capabilities are lower. Oh, I missed a blue bullet, so we're gonna have to dodge that. I got my buttons mixed up for a second.
Too much of the PS1 version, huh? Just kidding. It's like one major change. Oh, I missed the blue bullet too.
Plus that round, my first round stunk is only two bullets anyway.
The big difference with the PS1 version is that the US PS1 version is that they've made reflect damage a lot stronger. So you can just demolish these kind of bosses much more quickly because of it. 8 points.
Oh, I missed counted my bullets, missed a shot. Nice. Yeah, this boss is very easily one-roundable in the US version, if you get 6 bullets into the correct bullet types.
I believe you get 2 round in the Japanese version if you're just absolutely lucky.
Yeah, if you get all the long lasers, like that last one I just had, if you get a lot of the long lasers, which is the most damage, you can 2-round this boss.
And now we get everyone's favorite catfish girl waifu, mechanical waifu, Dynamis. They kept her name right in the US version,
yeah,
right?
She's Dynamis in the US version as well. So Dynamis is a guardian angel. They're like the big bosses that are being sent out by the bad guys to defeat you. They're all dual element, just like you. Dynamis's thing is that her arms are the damageable part of her. Her body is not damageable, so you have to just wait for her arms to come out and shoot them off 40 HP at a time. She is not being nice to me.
Oh man, she's being absolutely kind to me.
She dove twice in a row. Okay, we're back. If she dives, you just have to dodge. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Again.
And no big deal, she just crashes into a building, it's all fine. But she also sells flowers, very important lore.
Okay, now she's blue side.
Yeah, this game is very luck dependent, especially starting in the next stage? Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting in the next stage, things are gonna shake up quite a bit because of specific bosses.
Yeah, I'd say the first real RNG point is that gun boss. If you just get blue bullets, if you're running for a PB, it's just a reset point there.
Yeah.
And Dynamis with her diving is another point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dynamis can be absolutely cruel with the diving. I've had like 8 dives in a row once.
Yeah, 4 is the worst I've had in a while.
Yeah. So in this stage, there's the cupids in the background will throw stuff at you if you move. If you don't move at all, they don't start their attack cycles, and you can just take care of the little devils until they're all gone and you can move on. There we go. And then the other runner of this game, Chaos, he gets a different weapon from the secret. He gets a different secret shop weapon, and that's just down to preference because like all the weapons are pretty viable in the Japanese version.
Yeah, so the second secret shop is actually before Bug or before Moses in the first level. If you jump over that gap, you can get Pride from there, and Pride's like a boomerang weapon. So it can do, it goes out and it does damage on the way out and the way back in.
Yeah, and I believe it does per frame damage as well.
Something like that, yeah. So
the longer it's in the hitbox, the more damage it does.
Yeah, it's a total toss-up. I think it causes a little more lag.
Yeah, it causes a lot more lag.
I've never really done Pride testing because I'm just so used to using Sloth from my US runs, especially that's just what I do. And also that also means the first boss is very mash heavy because you have to use your level 1 Sloth against him.
Yeah.
And level one weapons with the turbo do not work nicely, honestly.
No, not at all. It's terrible. And now we got Pablo here, who's a werewolf, and a very shy one at that. Okay, he's just diving at me. There we go. It turns out he's a phony, though.
Oh, he turned around for me. I was like 1 frame too late turning my back on him when I approached him.
That's funny.
So he hid behind the pillar again. It's a very creative way for a boss to come out. Like, since he's shy, you can't look at him, so you have to turn around and ignore him.
Yeah. And now we got this giant lizard gecko named Malachim.
Smiley face from heck.
Yeah.
Please go.
And the way this boss works is that he has a thing that you shoot, and that determines what element he's gonna be.
And one more note on Pablo. In the US version, you can punch him into the right-hand corner, and he won't do anything. You just put him in timeout, and he'll stop jumping, he'll stop attacking, and you can just destroy him from there. That does not work in this version.
Nope.
Alright, for Malachim, I think his name is?
And Malachim or Malachim, I can't remember which one. Another biblical name.
He has to shoot the face to be blue, just for ease, because his red side has a homing laser attack, and you have no iframes.
Who needs iframes anyways?
Yeah, so you get
real gamers don't need iframes.
You get juggled very easily with his homing lasers. So it's safer to turn him blue unless you accidentally turn him red, and then you just gotta defeat him before he attacks you. But very, very easy. Very easy boss for like a third of the way through the game.
Yeah.
But I guess there's kind of a reason for that, you know? Because we're not done this stage.
And now math has been gotten involved. Because of course this game's all about supercomputers and stuff. That of course there's complex math equations.
Okay, so in this fight, Zohar starts out on the close range side. Okay, I got him.
Oh yeah, that went a little bit better for you than for me.
I was actually just about to grab him and punch him off to the side when he died. And the Zohar fights, the first 2 ones you want to just get them down to 500, to half their health, 500 HP, and that will end the fight because they're like, "Ha, I'll just leave."
Yeah, there's a few instances of fighting like that where with most fights with Zohar are like that, and then there's a boss later that'll be like that too. And now we're going to be fighting Samson, who's the driver for this guy in the back named Delilah.
Cute little town.
And this fight is cycle based, where you do a specific amount of damage, and then it goes into another phase where he turns the car on the road because Delilah yells at him to keep his eyes on the road.
What?
And
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, the English dub is special.
The English dub is amazing for this game.
Yeah.
If there's any people out there that would like to try to put the English translation and voices into the Saturn version, that'd be amazing. But yeah, this is the auto-scroller boss, or I'd say one of two auto-scroller bosses, really. There's an upcoming boss that I categorize as an auto-scroller because it's completely random how long it will take, and it just takes forever. But this was definitely an auto-scroller just because at the certain HP thresholds, he needs to turn the car, and he has to turn it. It goes right, up, left, up, and then right. And then at a certain HP threshold, the car goes down a bump, and that locks it into not turning again. Yeah. Because it has to be going to the right to finish the boss out.
Yeah, each section is also cycle-based to where, like, it'll only trigger the turn after a certain amount of time of the screen scrolling. So you can either, you can only beat this boss so quickly before you're just stuck waiting for the cycles. Oops. I had a brain fart for just a second.
So how careful are you being on the screen after Samson?
As careful as I possibly can.
Okay.
What I usually do is I just dash all the way to the other side so that all the enemies can spawn in.
Yeah, I do that, and I think even still, that's when I still have that issue. There's a soft lock on that screen. It has happened to every runner of this game, at least once, where if the game just doesn't despawn an enemy after you kill it, the game won't progress. And yeah, I'm just gonna be really careful.
Yeah, I am just being absolutely don't want it to happen. Because sometimes the second wave of enemies just won't spawn. And then you're just stuck here because the game progresses based on enemies counting down rather than no enemies being on the screen. And then suddenly we're on a game show and take a trapdoor. Yeah, I was a sigh of relief.
Yeah,
that's like the only bad spot of this run.
All of my devils, instead of blowing up, they lost their heads and ran away, which is one of the ways if the enemies because enemies can either just like blow up and disappear completely, or they like lose their head or their mask or whatever, and they just run off the screen. And if the game doesn't despawn them, that's the problem. So considering like most of my devils did the run off the screen thing, I was like, please switch sides so I can shoot you.
Oh man.
Okay.
That looks like the one I would normally have. That guy's Faust. He's like a celebrity, I think.
Yeah, he's one of the celebrities on the TV show here. He's a puppet master. His shadows come to life and everything. And he was like just stuck on the sides. I had to punch him over and get him. And then he stood still, which was nice. You just want him to stand still and take damage, basically.
Oh man. So now I'm fighting, I don't remember her name, but this is like a slot machine boss.
Her name's Sarah in the English version. I don't remember her name. I don't remember if her name's different in this one or not.
There we go. And so basically with her is that you can deal damage to her, and then after a bit she becomes invincible, and then that determines your multiplier, how much damage you do after that determines the multiplier on the slot machine.
No.
Oh, I had Polypeeper spawn.
Yeah, I had the lightning.
Oh no.
So I just had to dodge it. I just took like one hit.
And now we're at soup.
What do you mean you're at soup?
I'm at soup.
Why are you looking for clothes at the soup store?
So this guy's a really annoying boss. This is like a run killer kind of boss. In random cycles, he'll breathe in the smell of soup, and if the bubbles are red, he'll regain some spirit. And if he gets 100 spirit, he does like a really nothing attack. It looks devastating, but you can just block it entirely. And if he sucks in blue bubbles, it'll do 8 points of damage to him. Doesn't matter how many there are, it'll always do 8 points of damage. Which makes this fight kind of annoyingly slow.
Yeah, that's why it's a semi-auto scroller, because you're always doing the same amount of damage, but it's also random because he did for me, he sniffed and there was no bubbles on screen.
Yeah.
So this boss just always takes, 3 minutes minimum, I'd say.
Yeah, and if whenever he sucks in a bubble that damages him, he resets the soup to neutral flavor, because the little devils are always trying to turn it red for him.
Yeah, it's easier just to stay on one side and take the devils in from the one side than trying to jump back and forth, because the way the devils spawn in is completely random. You can use devils if you want to, switch between your A, B, and C buttons to jump and shoot, because at full spirit, Sloth will reach the other side. So you can sort of keep it if you're having bad luck with devil spawning on your side. You can shoot it that way if you're staying on the left side. Obviously, if you're staying on the right side, then you can't shoot the devils because you're blue. I stay on the left side, honestly, because that is the muscle memory I have for this boss.
I just do it because it's just easier.
Yeah, you can totally stand on the right if you want to, and take the enemies from that side, but my muscle memory has always been to the left. I have
also,
tried
for whatever reason, he gets 100 spirit, it's a lot easier to block his attack.
Yeah, because he is, since he is Mirage type, you can just sit on your reflect side.
Yep.
Not reflect it back at him, but basically protect yourself from getting hit by it.
Yep. Oh man, that was a nice suit. He also has a lot of money that you can't take from him, since you can't actually interact with him.
Yeah, it's just there to mock you. Alright, he's at 28.
Yeah. So, like, when he absorbs red bubbles, he has an uncapped amount of spirit he can get, whereas when you damage him, it's always a fixed amount, which is just kind of annoying. It would be not. I was like, if I were to do one change for this game, I would want the damage you do to him to be uncapped. It would definitely improve that fight quite a bit. Because sometimes there can be like 5 or 6 blue bubbles on there, and it just only does 8 damage. Not a good feeling.
Oh, the bubble disappeared when he sniffed instead of.
Oh no! I've had that happen. Now we got these two. I think they're archangels, aren't they? The twin-headed serpent.
The twin-headed goat sheep snake is a guardian angel. Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember their names though.
Prince Dam. At least in
right.
Prince
That's
Dam.
right. I think it's the same in Japanese because it's like one of those one that's really obscure. And so they're like, we're gonna eat you, but you can choose which one of us eats you. It doesn't really matter which side you go down because they're just mirrors of each other, but if you really want to save a frame, in the Japanese version, it's faster to go left because there's only one text box, whereas in the US version, it's on the right that you do that.
Yeah. Random differences.
Yeah. So now we're inside Princedom.
Just heading into the level now. Also,
This is
something weird. The text at the start of the level here, it actually lags on if you use turbo to go through it.
Yeah, it's really weird. This stage is also kind of annoying because you have two bosses that are really random and neutral based. Oh man, I will say the spider's being somewhat kind, although he just vanished. Where are you? That's probably one of the nicer spiders I've had. And now we get the Yona army, which is just the absolute most miserable part of the run.
Soup wasn't the run killer, then Yona Division is the run killer. I think I have my split name as this is where the run dies or something like that.
Yeah, because basically you can only deal neutral damage to him, and he has his army here that does damage as well. But he can also change their elements.
And you don't want to defeat them you want to leave them alive because they'll help you do damage to him. Also, in the US version, the spider boss will go down in 3 rounds of that, of this grab and, mine attack that he has, just from the increased neutral damage.
Okay, I got him on, oh, I almost had him on a loop and then he ran off. So you can kind of get him on a loop, as long as you are a certain distance away and you're not holding your barrier, he'll shoot at you fairly often.
Come on.
There we go. So as long as you're not holding your barrier, you can kind of manipulate him to do constantly shooting at you. But his allies can make it kind of hard to do that as well, depending on where they are and where he is. They can just be really annoying. So I've been juggled by them like crazy before.
All right. You wanna be kind?
You wanna be good? And thanks to Yona blowing up, we got yeeted out outside of Brinsdom. And now we can see just how absolutely massive they are when we're riding it.
Come on, dude. Come on.
And now we got Megiddo here.
This is gonna take a while.
Oh no. So there's another fight where we only have to get up to 500 their health. Oh crap. And you can grab him when he's doing that arrow attack, but it's like the attack I don't want him to do.
Actually gonna get rid of a couple of these dudes, because they're in my way.
And he is just absolutely loving that attack. Oh wow. I did not want that. No, stop being mean. Oh, he's doing that attack.
Was he doing the background one?
Yeah, I totally forgot that was the attack he could do because I haven't seen it in so long. Like, the entire time I've been de-rusting this game, he did not do that attack. That is hilarious. Well, something for the viewers then. To see an attack he rarely does.
Pax's rarest one is throwing the roses, which is also his worst attack.
Oh, the throwing the roses I see the most often of his
really?
weird attacks. Yeah.
He had 4 HP left. Come on, dude.
Oh no! Oh, I hate that. And yeah, he's just walking away from you. Oh my god. Yeah, don't hold barrier on him. Chaos told me that if you hold the barrier, he's less likely to shoot.
Come on. There we go. He also went into his iframe. He has iframes, by the way. When he does his attribute change, he goes into iframe, so I could have had him around earlier there, but... Yeah, that was a bad Yona fight.
That's rough. So now we got 2 of these walkers, and boy, how do they lag the game. And there's a ledge on the side there that doesn't despawn. So you can just push them off of it to get them done quicker. But one of the walkers favors walking often, while the other one's more susceptible to being pushed off the edge.
One actually walks faster than the other.
Yeah.
So the faster one is also able to be pushed off easier just because it has a better movement thingy on it. I don't know what. But, yeah. It's just easier to push that one off than it is to push the slow one off.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm down to 8 spirit. I'm scared. So I changed to my level 1 weapon so I don't accidentally lose that. Lose my level 6 weapon.
He just stood still and kept doing, his arm thingy on the side. But there was a lot of lag because he summoned a lot of enemies, and I'm under 200 spirit, which kind of stinks.
Yeah. Oh, come back here. I lost my level 1 weapon because I just was down to like almost no spirit.
Oh no, yeah, it's always rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than losing level 6. You want to lose a level 1 weapon. You do not.
Yeah.
If you lose a level 6 weapon, Your
run's
run
pretty much over.
Your run, it is over.
Yeah, because you don't farm money in the run, so... And I think the level 5 weapon is like pretty expensive, like 500 or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. I'm just gonna be a little careful coming up. Because I'm down. I'm also low on spirit and lagging, like...
Yeah, that room's just gonna be laggy all the time. So now we're fighting Galgalum, which this one I had to really research what the religious name was, because Japanese, of course, is not very good at translating English names. Especially this one. This one is super weird. But this boss is another Archangel, but you damage it by feeding it enemies of the opposite colors of its wings. And you need to feed it 11 enemies? No.
10.
10. And after 3 enemies, it'll squish them and deal damage, or I think if you feed the same enemies, it powers it up or something.
Yeah, it does something. I have not done it in so long. I am taking forever on these walkers because...
yeah, so usually what I try to do is like 1 wave of 4 and 2 waves of 3. That way so that's not taking too long, just waiting.
I really should take a HP death instead.
Yeah. I wanted to take an HP death because it was so low, but it would have taken a lot longer than the spirit death. So now it's squishing the enemies because it's like a trash compactor. That's also an Archangel. And after it squishes the enemies, it changes its element. And it's kind of random when it grabs an enemy, but you can tell when it just starts going towards one. And then I try to be near the claws as well, because the enemies just follow you around.
That was the worst walker fight. I was taking it very slowly. And
oh god, mine was bad too, because I had to switch to a level 1 weapon.
So yeah, HP death, you have 10 continues in the game. When your HP goes to 0, you can use continue. And I guess the continues are more important in the PS1 version than this version, because in the PS1 version you can unlock a bonus options screen by defeating what they call all paths in the game. There are 5 in the PS1 version. And you have to do it on 1 save file, and your continues carry over between save files.
Yeah, it can be pretty tough. Especially since they do start you on the harder difficulty.
Yeah, and PS1 on JP as well, you know.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
JP doesn't start on the harder difficulty, but I think it still has all the paths in there or something. And the continues, and it saves, and the continues carrying over. This version does not have saves, although it does have a continue screen. I think it can do a continue if like it shuts down, if like it crashes or shuts down suddenly or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really understand it all that well because it's like so inconsistent when it happens.
So
at this point, farming enemies for just so that he'll do the compactor thing. There we go.
Yeah, with Galgalin, you can do 3. You can do 3 or 4 at a time, depending on timings of when he's grabbing them. Kind of depends on how many you want to do per round just to save time. So here I'm going to do 3 because he held on to that one on the right side for so long that it wouldn't make sense to do 4.
Yeah. And now we fight Zohar again, but this time we actually are gonna defeat them completely, and we have a 2-minute timer on it.
Yeah, and if you run out that timer, instead of just dying or something, you get a different path in the game. One of the paths in the game, you get a different boss after Zohar if you don't defeat them in 2 minutes. Please grab an enemy. His hands are just like wandering places. And of course, I got a peep respawn. Of course, he killed the other Spectre.
There we go. 29 seconds isn't bad.
And he's waiting for... Okay. Please grab the other Spectre. I want to get 4 this round.
Yeah, so if you let the timer go out, you get a boss that's technically easier, but it's a lot slower in the speed run. Yeah, the boss you get after that Seraphim is
easier because she has definitely bigger hitboxes. However, she in her second phase she gets iframes.
Yeah.
Every time.
Surprise, Zohar is actually an archangel. Oh, nice! I got the Mirage silhouette start. So depending on what phase they were when you defeated Zohar, determines what phase they start in this fight.
Yeah, silhouette version is a lot easier to deal with because they stand still a little bit better.
Yeah. Also, you don't have to go to the other side.
Yeah. The Mirage version, since it's long range, it'll just sweep across the arena. Please grab one more.
Don't do that attack.
You can grab two. That's fine. As long as you sync them up, that'll be okay. I don't know how many moves the Guardian Angel theme that was for this boss, but it felt like too many.
Nice. Didn't get a third phase. So after a certain amount of time, it'll change elements back and forth. Usually you can defeat it in the second one, but sometimes if you're just not doing enough damage, it'll go to the third phase.
Without turbo, it's I think minimum 3, usually 4 if you don't have turbo on. A turbo I found that out because when Chaos started running this with turbo, he was defeating Zohar in 2 rounds. I'm like, how? That's not possible. And then I tested with turbo and without. I'm like, nah, turbo really does make a difference here.
It's so handy. But oh yeah, Moses summons the shop guy one last time, and the shop guy's really upset. So now we have a choice to save the world or save ourselves. For the speedrun's sake, we're saving ourselves.
Zohar is not going nicely.
Oh no. And so we get the quote-unquote bad ending. It's good for us, but bad for the world. And Megiddo is pretty pissed off because he was banking on us to make the right choice. And the other guy was Har, which is Megiddo's brother. And together they're Armageddon.
Wouldn't stand still, couldn't get a grab on him. And the problem with the silhouette side is if you let them summon the mines, then that deflects Mirage attacks, so it's very hard to damage the silhouette side because those mines are all over the place.
So now I'm on phase 2 of Megiddo, where he's really annoying. You can only damage him when he's attacking, and time's coming up in just a moment for me. Uh-oh. I'm scared. I am so scared. Because I only have my level 6 weapon and I'm down to 100 spirit. And he's just being a jerk. Okay. Would you please stop being a jerk, Megiddo? He keeps jumping off the edge of the arena.
Obviously, I got all my good luck out of my D-Rust run that I did shortly before this, because I'm gonna take a second death here.
I should take a death too, since I'm finally low. Or no, time. And now both our characters are jumping around, trying to get back in place.
Oh, it's always fun. Oh, I got 3 rounds Zohar, too, just because of the... I think I just got lagged out from hitting a lot.
Yeah, that happens too. Oh man, that was a tough fight. 4209. Hey, not bad. I PB'd earlier today with like a 4128, I think. Which was the first time I got sub 42. But because of the choice we made, we get to survive in this twisted world that was created because of an experiment gone wrong where everyone was split into either a silhouette or mirage element. And so we defeated the bad guy. World's at peace, but it's still messed up. If you choose the proper ending, you can restore the world back to its original state, but you cease to exist. or rather, you exist but as a ghost. No one knows you. No one can interact with you. No one can see you. You're just kind of wandering the earth as a ghost.
Yeah, so the good ending is kind of also the bad ending.
Yeah, the good ending has some really good fights, though, and they believe they change depending on if you fight Seraphim or Zohar, right? I know there's like some changes.
I haven't done Seraphim good ending path in a long time, ever since I accidentally triggered it. Because I didn't know. Oh, stop throwing roses. The problem with the roses that Megiddo does, they're neutral damage. So if you take a face full of roses, you can die really easily.
Yeah, and neutral does both health and spirit damage. It's obnoxious. Okay, I hope your Megiddo 2 goes a lot better than mine.
No, I'm gonna lose my level 1.
Okay, that's better than me because I didn't have a level 1 to lose.
Wait for him to come back towards me because he's on the edge. Come on, dude.
But yeah, I highly recommend this game to everyone. The only catch is that I would say play the PS1 version just so you can read it, because there's some important information on how to play the game. Yo, GG.
That was okay.
But the Japanese PS1 or Saturn version is definitely the way to play in terms of just overall gameplay feel, because you can play however you want and it feels good no matter what.
Yeah,
whereas the US version, yeah, the US version pigeonholes you into a specific weapon.
And plus the added difficulty with some of the bosses being stronger and whatnot.
Yeah. The PS1 version also adds a hidden boss where if you make it to the first Megiddo fight after Primdam without dying and win that fight, you fight a secret boss that's only in the PS1 version that's Death. And that's actually a really, really cool fight.
Yeah, you don't die before Megiddo and answer 3 questions correctly. I think it's like left, right, or right, left. I forget which one.
Oh, I didn't even notice the questions.
Oh, yeah. There's 3 questions you get asked after the fight, and you have to answer them correctly to fight the Reaper. If you answer them incorrectly, he kicks you out, and you can't fight him.
Oh, wow.
Though, if you are doing an all paths run, there is an all paths speed run, technically, for the PS1 version. If you get to the 4th path and you haven't fought the Reaper yet, it will automatically shunt you into that path so you get it.
Oh, that's cool. When are you doing an all-pass run?
It takes like 3 hours.
A segmented run.
Yeah, we'll go back to 2006 and do segmented runs. Submit it
there
on
you go. They should have never left.
Right?
Yeah. And we get this lovely ending theme as well. The soundtrack for this game is fantastic. The only disappointing part of the speedrun is that a lot of the great songs don't really get to play out and hear how amazing they really are.
Yeah, my favorite. You ever hear my favorite song in the game, which is the Seraphim's boss fight theme?
Oh yeah, that's a great one. But yeah, I highly recommend at least checking out the soundtrack. If not, check out this game. Definitely, it's just a wonderful game. Yeah, please play the game.
People think of 1997 Treasure and they think of Mischief Makers. This game came out shortly after Mischief Makers and was just completely glossed over.
It just wasn't released in the U.S. At the time.
At that time, yeah. And then PS1 just had so many other things in '99 when it came out, or 2000. It was like very late '99, early 2000. It's kind of up in the air. But yeah, that was fun. As kind of a I guess what do you call it? Farewell shoutouts thing. I guess of course shoutouts to Chaos 42666 being the other semi-active runner. There's not really many active runners of this game we've all been doing for so long. He's the one that did all the major reroutes of the speed run, because when I started running and I ran on the easy path, we actually found out it was slower, and he also did the testing with Pride and everything like that. So shout outs to him for having the sub 40 and being the one that really grinded the game down to its nubs.
Yeah.
And, Yeah, shout out to shentok for also learning this game and running it with me when there's not many other runners of it.
Yeah.
If you're interested in playing and then running this game, please reach out to us. There's no like community Discord or anything fancy like that, but we're both available on Twitter and elsewhere. So if you're interested, feel free to shout out. I don't stream too often. I might be streaming more often depending on other marathons that I'm in coming up, and I might need to actually de-rust a game instead of just picking it up 2 hours before and going, okay, I'm fine. I've been playing this game for 17 years.
Yeah, follow Kari, convince her to stream.
Follow me on Twitter, convince me to stream, or just read about me posting about rhythm games instead.
And then I'm usually playing something really cool in the arcade space these days, but I still, of course, the Saturn is my first love, and I always come back to that. But thank you so much for having us. I'm glad that you got to participate in this marathon, and I'm glad that it even got to happen. It's wonderful. Oh, the Dreamcast is fantastic too, but the Saturn, I grew up with that. I need a second Dreamcast so I can put an OD in it. Someday.
Well, thank you to once again. So excited that you guys could bring this game to us, and I think everybody else agrees too. We're super thrilled that you guys could race this because we were exposed to an amazing new game.
I can't wait for your speed runs of it, Shane.
Well, all this Saturn talk, to be truthful, I don't have a Saturn. I do have a Dreamcast.
You can emulate it. I won't judge.
That's true. There you go. There we go. Well, next year is or I guess in 2005, so here in a couple years is the 30th anniversary for the Saturn, so we got to have some sort of big Saturn blowout for that, so I'm sure we'll have to have some sort of event here.
Actually, it came out in '94 in Japan.
There we go. So maybe we'll do it next year. And Dreamcast, it has the 25th anniversary next year, so maybe we'll just turn that to the CD-based events for next year.
Yeah, feel free to reach out.
Well, very cool.